Praise God.
Praise God, Frank.
Praise God. Well, I just wanted to share a testimony of, I guess, how I found the Lord through this ministry. You know, I was born and raised Catholic, good Catholic family, went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, had my little statue of St. Francis on my table, on my dresser. By the time I got to college, though, you know, I had completely abandoned my faith. No practice of any religion or prayer. In fact, even when I was dating and my future wife asked me to say a prayer for her, I couldn't even say the word prayer. I remember saying, well, I'll wish you good thoughts. I had taken up the practice of, learned the technique of Transcendental Meditation, and my intention was to become a teacher, to instruct others in Transcendental Meditation, and had gone to Iowa to volunteer at a school there to eventually become an instructor in that. And I was 100% certain that that was my life. I mean, there was not even a shadow of my doubt that that was the future that my life held. I got married while I was there. I lived 3 years in Iowa, and we had a beautiful little girl, Mary. And shortly afterwards, immediately afterwards, we had a series of illnesses that struck my family, my young little family, that caused us to come back to Chicago. My wife was diagnosed with severe mental illnesses. She had to be hospitalized several times. And my daughter, shortly after being born, was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So I had to look for work. I hadn't worked. I was volunteering in Iowa. Had to look for work, so I went back to look for work in graphic design that I had been trained at in college. And I did find a job, fortunately, a really good job. And, you know, the Lord knows what we need and more than we do. So he placed me, and who is at the desk right next to me, the other designer next to me, is a lady who is a parishioner at St. Pius Parish, where some of you know that Barbara's ministry was born. And she started wheeling over to me and telling me things going on in her parish, and how this Father Kelleher was conducting these things called healing masses, and she had never seen anything like it in her life. And during that time, Barb was interviewed for a 10 o'clock news skit. They had heard about all the things going on at the parish, and there was a short little brief thing on the news about this healing ministry that was happening at St. Pius Parish. So we gathered up our little family and went there. And the instant I walked through the door, I knew something good was happening here. I happened to walk in just when they were doing a candlelight rosary procession, holding the statue of Mary Immaculate Queen around the gymnasium. And from the very first time I went there, I really was touched when Barb came to pray with me. And you know, right the very first, I felt God's presence there. Well, you know, I continued. There was a continued series of difficulties happening in my family, and I just personally was feeling a bit of despair. I just felt out of control in terms of my personal life, and Barb was having a healing service near where I lived at a Dominican priory, right near my house, and I decided to go there. So when it came time for the prayer time, you know, I just asked, Barb asked, what do you want to pray for? And I just asked for peace in my family, which is what my heart was desiring. And, you know, I had never spoken to Barb about any of my personal needs. She really didn't know me at that time. But I just asked, you know, Barb prayed for me. But God knew. God heard the prayer, you know, and that's just how it worked. And right at that very moment that Barb asked, please, you know, just peace in his family, I was literally, as they say, slain in the spirit. I mean, you know, I could not have, I didn't even know I was, my whole head was filled with light. I was gently laid back to the floor, and I was just filled with a peace, and the best way I can describe it would be just an inner light to my whole body, just beyond description. And, you know, during that moment, it was just, I think God was telling me, why are you in despair? Why are you feeling bad that you feel like all of your life's goals are gone? aren't I the one that's always given? Can't I give you peace? I'm the one that's given you any peace that you've had. You know, you don't need to look elsewhere, basically. You don't need to look elsewhere. I'm here. I will give you all the peace you need. And so, you know, just gradually from there, you know, it just confirmed in me that, that anything I needed came from the Lord. So I just returned to the church and every day grow closer to Him. And I just don't know where I would be. I think, you know, where would I be had I not gone? Had the Lord not touched me there? You know, I just would stay empty, really, I guess. So the Lord knows, I guess, the bottom line, how and when to call you back. So
praise you.
That's my testimony.